Hey gang, Rodin here. Welcome on back to the Cade and another episode of our one-day playthroughs. The series where we go back and we take a look at games that, if you really want to put in the time and effort, you could beat them in a day. And for this one, I've debated about playing this game and putting it in a series for a long time. Part of it's been trying to pigeonhole it in and figure out which one would work best. And this one seems most apropos, and damn it, it's our channel. We're going to do with it what we want. You see the name up there. We're going to go back to 1995. We're going to play the PlayStation version of the 1993 first-person juggernaut. Not the one that started it all, but the one that made the first-person shooter what it is today. We are playing Doom. And we're going to try and get through the original Doom over the course of the next 30 to 60 minutes. Now, the thing about playing Doom on the PS1, the reason why I want to play this version, if you're not familiar with this game, this episode will be here. Get off your butt and go play this, just so you can have some comprehension of what this game was like. But this game, when it came out in 1993, was originally released, obviously, on PC only. It was then ported over because of its insane popularity. It was ported over to the Sega 32X and the Atari Jaguar in 1994, the Super NES and the PlayStation in 95, the 3DO in 96, the Sega Saturn in 97, a PC I've never heard of called the Acorn RISC PC in 1998, the Game Boy Advance in 2001, the Xbox 360 in 2006, iOS in 2009, and then it was reissued on the Switch, the Xbox One, the PS4, and Android systems in 2019. Few games have gotten more mileage put on it than the original Doom. And what we're going to do is we're going to play Ultimate Doom, and I could go. I'm going to go not too rough. It's been a long time since I've played this game. And then we'll take a look at the options. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit because I don't want to get a copyright strike. And that will happen if I run that too loudly. And let's play some Doom. So, I'm going to do this under the premise that maybe 10% of you have never played this game. And if you haven't, here's the deal. This game, like I said, defined for an entire generation the first-person shooter. But it wasn't the first great FPS game that id Software came up with. That is actually beholden to a title called Wolfenstein 3D that it came out 3 years, or the year before rather, May of 1992. I want to say 3 years later because again the PlayStation version of this came out in 1995. This game, of course, was created by John Romero and Adrian Carmack, and they wanted to come up with something a little bit darker than what had been done before. Now, how this game works is really and the thing about playing this on the PlayStation that I loved was, at the time, because PCs were not as readily accessible to the average consumer as they are today. PCs are much more available, they're much more affordable, and being able to custom build your own PCs is at a point where when this game came out, I was 18 years old. That just wasn't an option for most people. And granted, at the time, getting a PlayStation 1 was $300, which was no small piece of change. But how this game works is really simple. You are known as the Doom Marine. That is that face you see down in the center of the bar below. And you have been part of a military operation that has gone horribly wrong. You've been sent on a dead-end assignment to Mars after assaulting a superior officer who ordered his unit to fire on civilians. And while you are here on this base in a region of, or on the moon of Mars called Phobos, you are requested to give military assistance after Deimos disappears entirely. So this Marine joins up to secure Phobos, and then that entire unit is wiped out except for you. And what you are stuck in is essentially a dimension that is known simply as hell. And you've got to fight your way out of it. So, your Y button helps you jump. Your left trigger and right trigger cycles your weapons. Your shoulder buttons, your R1 and L1, help you strafe, which can be very, very handy in a pickle. And then if you hold down I know there was a button that I could use to jump, but for whatever reason my controller is not letting me have it, so. So from here, it is just a matter of survive and assault. And that's the whole crux of this game. And as a kid, or as a young adult I should say, playing this game for the first time, few games gave me a sense of both awe and absolute dread as the original Doom. And Doom 2 was even crazier, because Doom 2 took everything that is in this game and cranked it up to 11. And because I have not played this game in so long, I am so rusty. But the other nice thing is that this was one of the first games that had a map function on it. And this is something that was built into Wolfenstein 3D and allowed you to mod it. So Wolfenstein was one of the first games that actually had its basically build your own levels. Alright, if I can take him down before he gets that, that's what I wanted, and that's what I want right there. I wanted the shotgun. So, you have, as you see below, you see your health meter, you have your ammo gauge, you have your armor rating, and you have those slots where you see 1, 2, and 3. Those are your weapon slots. And as you go through this game, you will find different opportunities to get different weapons. And they can range in everything from a shotgun to, oh, we're going to get the hyper armor. Want that. To rocket launchers, to miniguns, and to the ultimate weapon, which is known as the BFG 9000. I don't need to really give you a breakdown of what BFG stands for. I trust you're smart people. You know what it means. Now, if you want to burn through this game, you can beat it in a day. In fact, you can beat it separated over 3 episodes, each containing about 9 levels. And at the end of this, you see how it breaks down. You can figure out your kills, your item pickup, your secrets, and all that stuff. And because this game was based on a DOS game, it still had a password system. And we got another shotgun, but I don't need it because I am full up on health. And the visuals in this game, as great as they were for the time, what also sold it was the sound effects and the environmentals that go into this game. I'm not being hyperbolic in saying just how revolutionary they were. And they truly were. To this point, we hadn't had a game that allowed us to move at this sort of clip. And I'm not even having to run any accelerations or anything on my emulator. I'm currently playing this on DuckStation, which was the PlayStation emulator I started using after a lot of the ones that I'd played for years turned out to be not really up to snuff. Ow, jerk. Let me down. There we go. And you see right there be a chainsaw. And that was one of the most popular weapons in this game from pretty much the moment it came out. Pick up the mega armor here. More shotgun shells. Let's see, where are we going here? We're going this way. Alright, so this takes me down there, but I don't want to go there yet because I want to see about going and getting a chainsaw. Which means I want to go back up. Nothing over there. I've already checked there. Pick up more armor. Sit down, Potsy. Pick up the backpack. Now, the backpack allows you to hold a heck of a lot more stuff. So, it's a really nice thing to have in a pinch. It looks like I came through that way. Shut up. Knew there was going to be a guy around here waiting to pick me off. So let's see here. The other nice thing is you can move on the map. and then switch off with using the select button. And you can drop back and forth to go between the two. So I already went that way. Oop, ran into the barrel. Came up that way. But I wonder... Well, looks like in order to get over there, I've got to go around. So that door's been open. Means I can come down here. Alright, I won't worry about the chainsaw, because actually, I never really used it all that much. We only have 14% of the secrets in here. So it behooves you to actually go through and try to take the time and effort to find all this stuff. And really do some looking around. Alright, I hear you, dude. Where are you? I have to admit, I always loved the sound of the shotgun in this game. Like I said, the sound design was so good. Everything in this game, it was one of those rare things that everything came together so amazingly well. That in a lot of ways, it's almost... It's taken for granted in some ways nowadays. Because you look at every good FPS game that's out there now. And I mean all of them. And they can all trace their roots back to Doom. Now, the one thing you have to worry about in a lot of ways is that it's easy. If you get motion sick easy playing this game, this may not be one for you. And I'm not saying that to call people out as being wusses or whatnot, but because this game moves so well at this speed, after a while it can get a little queasy. So just be warned. And out of all the variations of this game that were released, the PS1 version for a long time was considered the high watermark. If you didn't have a PC, that is. Gotta get over here. There we go. Because now we has picked up a rocket launcher. Now, I don't want to use the rocket launcher yet, only because this thing, for as powerful as it is, and it is an absolute hammer. it can also do as much damage to you as you can do to another enemy. Alright, so now I want to get over here really quick. Got it. And this is what I want. Supercharge. So just like you have the Mega Armor, this will put you up to 200 health. And we have a bridge that is going all the way out, but I don't want to go out there yet. I don't think, because there should be a gold door here that I'm looking for. Or nope, I think I have to go out this way. Holy crap. I was hoping you'd be able to use the rocket launcher, but again, like I said, in close quarters, that thing can wipe you out as fast as it can wipe out another enemy. Alright, so I don't want to go this way yet. So what I need to find is there is... Will this open this door? No, because I need a blue key, which I don't have yet. So I gotta find the gold door, which if I remember right, I think was over here. So let me take the opportunity to show you what the rocket launcher can do. It makes things go splat. Another shotgun. There's the blue key. Put him down. All right, now we can head back this way. And now we can access that blue door. That I hadn't been able to get in before. But when this game came out, it made id Software one of the premier game companies in the world, seemingly overnight. Now, Wolfenstein 3D had been popular, but in some ways, it was almost like an underground popular. It was because people didn't know what to make of first-person shooters back in 1993. They were such a new concept. That's where that fireball is coming from. And that's the nice thing about having the rocket launchers. The rocket launcher can give you so much kinetic damage. Okay, so this is the way out. And I don't want to go in through here just yet because there was another door that I had seen that I had missed. And we come up this way. Hey, look, chainsaw. So now the chainsaw takes the place of your hand as a standalone melee weapon. And because you don't have an aiming reticle, the benefit is that all you have to do is basically point your gun in the direction of whatever it is you want to hit, and it's going to hit it. So it spares you a lot of time that you otherwise might not have. So let's see, we came through here. That's what I thought. So we picked up that box of rockets. And there were 2 exits we could have taken. So we took the second one. And we only missed 1 secret. So we've been playing for about 25 minutes. And what I'm really looking to get is what's called the chain gun, but essentially it's a minigun. And the other thing about Doom was that Doom was one of the first games that really took the violence and cranked it up. Much to the dismay of every parent and every parent-teacher organization in existence in the early 90s. I mean, this game got lambasted as everything from the most satanic game ever created. I wish I was kidding about this, but there were some who even called it a school shooting simulator. Like, this was the game that taught us angry young kids how to commit horrible atrocities against our fellow students. This was, to them, what started that. Which, of course, is complete and utter BS. But that didn't stop the powers that be at the time from finding ways to completely lambaste it. When the more level-headed people were actually the kids who were playing it and understood, no, we're playing a video game. Doesn't give me any more or less incentive to do anything to anybody else than for example, last week, if I was playing Donkey Kong and I decided I want to go drop some barrels on somebody's head. Alright, now this looks like it's going to be a teleporter. There. Put him down. Now, the other thing I got to be careful about with the rocket launcher is that because... Oh, now we're berserk. So now I can take the opportunity to tear through pretty much anything that comes in my way. I don't have a blue key. I already went that way, so I need the gold key. And that is how you get the chainsaw to work. Is there a door here? No, it's just a change in the wall. But as you see what I'm doing here, the tactic of shoot and then slide. Oh, I never liked these guys. Eat a rocket. Alright, we got the blue key. And now we go up this way. And if I remember right, the blue key door is right here. Whoop. Yeah, an invisible one. Whenever you hear that snort, you know nothing good is coming this way. Alright, so for this, it's a matter of kind of running, and since you can't jump, you gotta time everything right. And now what I gotta do is I gotta go down into the muck. Go away. And we were able to exit out. So we killed everything, found half of what we wanted, and looted 78% of the items. So when it released this game in 1993, it was estimated that only one. It was first released as what was called shareware. I mean, if you don't know what shareware was, basically this was a primer for a game that you wanted to get. And back in the day, it was usually a case of And this started really with Wolfenstein. So it, as far as I remember, was one of the first companies to do this. Where you could go and for free, you could get a abbreviated version of this game. Or Wolfenstein 3D for that matter. You got it. And you played it, but if you wanted the full version of the game, then you would have to go to id and order the whole thing. Which, for the time, made sense. But when it came out, they estimated that only about 1% of shareware downloaders about the full game, which generated a daily revenue of about $100,000, which had sold in one day what Wolfenstein had sold in an entire month. And by May of 1994, the game had sold 65,000 copies, and by 1995, it had sold 140,000 copies. And by 2002, they had estimated the game had sold upwards of 200,000 copies in its first year alone, which for 1994-95, for a game of any sort, was massive returns on their investment. Alright, so I don't need the ammo box. Hazmat suit. Now the hazmat suit comes in handy because I'm at a point now where if I want to be able to get into certain areas, I need to go into the poison water to do it. Took that guy out. Took that guy out. So now I want to drop down here, and this will protect me. I go and get the rocket launcher. And another rocket. And more gear. Anything else I'm missing? No. Pop back up. But other sources had said, and in my research, I wasn't able to identify entirely who made this allegation, but I would not be surprised if this was the case. That by 2000, more than 10 million gamers worldwide were playing Doom we're playing Doom within 24 months of it being launched. And we have the chain gun. And this is far and away my favorite weapon in the game. Once you get the chain gun, oh, we are having ourselves a time. Because this thing is grade A bang bang. And I have the blue key, which means we're going this way. Because all you gotta do is hold the fire button down and you let it rip. Gold key. Sit down. I heard something skulking around in here. Question is, where is it? that's where you were. If he was in here, that means there's usually something good he's guarding. Or maybe not. Alright, so we gotta be able to get the ramp up to get out of here, which means you gotta open this door. We gotta find the switch to get us up there. So let's see, where is the switch? Not in here. I think it might be in here, which makes it a real pain in the butt to try and find. But within a year of this game's release in 1993, by 1994, this game was already being touted as one of, if not arguably, the greatest video game ever made. Because it's the combination of not just the kinetic action involved in it, it is these sorts of puzzles that you've got to figure out. Like, they can very easily put in the switch I need to activate the door right here, or to activate the ramp to get me to the door. But they didn't. Romero and Carmack make you work for it. And as odd as that sounds, it adds to the appeal of the game. There's that switch. And that switch, but that didn't work. Okay, and the door's opened. Alright, so I already came down this way. There's nothing over here. Nothing over here. Nope, not that way. There's nothing up there, it looks like, because otherwise this platform would rise up. Ah, there's the ramp. And sometimes it's really easy to walk right past something that seems so obvious and then you don't even see it. Now this version, Ultimate Doom, when it came out in 1995, was rated 90 out of 100 by PC Zone for new players, but it was ranked 20 out of 100 for anybody who had the original game. I'm inclined to question that, only because I don't see where necessarily they made the game worse. Usually, if you're going to have that much of a differential between one version of a game than another, they would have completely destroyed everything that made the game interesting or appealing in the first place. And to me, they didn't do that with this version of it. Now, granted, I didn't play the original Doom all that much. So I need the yellow key. Put you down. All right, so I got to find the yellow key. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Ah. Yellow key. I hear a snorter around here somewhere. All right, get my bearings here again. It is so easy to get lost in this game. And another pink demon. And as you see, I'm still doing just fine with the number of bullets I have. Alright, I think I want the other one. Nope. Doesn't look like it's gonna let me up. Hazmat suit. Not that I need it at this point. There's Snorty McSnortface. Anything good up here? No. And nothing good over here. So there's mega armor sitting here, but I don't really need it. And my hazmat suit is running out. So now I've come down this way. Ah. Looks like if I can come up here. And there's a teleporter here, which could be a good thing or an awful thing. Where did you bring me back to? Right here. Well, that was as useful as a hole in the head. Unless now I can get out to... I can. Here we go. Eat a rocket. So we go this way. Meanwhile, I have one gunner sitting here. Oh, would you go away? And we made it through the Phobos lab. Now to central processing. And what sucks is I'm almost out of chain gun ammunition, since it runs on regular bullets. But the shotgun will suffice in the meantime. Alright, big boy. Sit down. You too. That was not helpful. Luckily, I have health kits here to pick up. And shotgun shells. There never seemed to be a real absence of equipment and or weapons when you really needed them. Alright, so come out that door, which means we've got to go down. Unless we got to go through there. But I see a mega charge right here. And the mega armor. So we have the blue key, and the blue door was back this way, or it has to be. There we go. Hazmat suit. Nothing over here. Okay, we've been through this red door. So where's the blue door? Nothing that way. Which means I hate wearing out the hazmat suit. Oh, come on. Where do we gotta go? So we went that way. Okay, we went that way. over here. So aha. You think there are doors you've been through, and then it turns out you haven't. So now I need the yellow key to go through that door. And I need the yellow key to go through that door. Which means I need the blue key to go through this door. Alright, I heard a door open. I think that was this one. And yep, there's the gold key. And pick up the backpack again. Pick up this hazmat suit because there should be something around this corner for me to get. Which is dead if I'm not careful. Rockets, backpack. Pick up this mega charge. Alright, so I think we will get through the rest of this level and call it good. More than enough bullets for the chain gun. And it looks like I want to go through the gold door. Where was it? It was right here. So where is the way out? Ah! So reduce him to paste. Come here, Pink. Wholesale carnage. We finally reach the door. And we finally get out. So we've been playing for a little bit over an hour. And as I recall, I've got about 2 more levels to go. But that, in a nutshell, is the original Doom from 1993, as ported over, as I said, to multiple consoles over the course of the next 24 months. And then it has gone on to be reinvented, reinterpreted, redesigned, sequelized, everything in the ensuing 30 years. Now, like I said, for a one-day playthrough, this is a game that I could finish easily in the next 30 to 45 minutes. But I don't want to bore you by going back and forth through it for that long. But not only if you get the PlayStation version of it, do you get Ultimate Doom, but you get Doom 2. And then there was also Final Doom, which really you could get all 3 of them put together and make an entire day of doing just this. I wouldn't recommend you do it, only because by the end of it, you are going to be quite upside down mentally. Because it does take a lot of concentration to play this game. It takes focus to play this game. If you want to play it and find everything, you've got to be looking for the most minute details in some zones. I'm not kidding. Because you never know if you open up a secret panel, what's going to be on the other side of it. Could be an enemy, could be the BFG 9000. You just don't know. But the reason why I wanted to highlight this game is twofold. One, because again, it's a game you can play in a day. But two, the importance of Doom in the grand scheme of things. And we now have the benefit 30 years later of being able to look back on it and realize that it was not what our parents and our supposed betters thought it was going to be. At the end of the day, it was just a video game. Yes, it is a game that has a lot of violence in it. Yes, it is a game that has a considerable amount of gore in it. Yes, it is a game that is dealing with subject matter that is not what the average parent wants their teenage kid or younger to be dealing with. But the ratio of people who played this game and had a negative reaction to it, rather than the people who played it and had a positive reaction to it, is so massive that it is still considered by many the most influential video game in all of history. And in 2007, it was listed as one of 10 games to be selected for preservation in the Library of Congress by the United States government. This is the same government that 5 years earlier had tried to ban it. So it shows how far we've come and how far we came in a decade. But in the 30 years since, it's given us the benefit of reassessing Doom and games like it and understanding this is recreation for a lot of people. Does that mean that there are people who have bad experiences with it? Yes. Does that mean that there are games that should be not necessarily monitored, but should be available for certain age groups? Yes. Doom was part of the reason why the ESRB was created. Along with a lot of other video games at the time that were considered too violent or too negative towards children. But, be that as it may, what has your experience with this game been? If you're of my age, if you're in your 40s and you play this game, what was your experience with it? If you've never played it, if you've never sat down and played the original Doom, I challenge you to do it. And then come back to me and let me know what your experience with it was. Because again, everything that you play nowadays is a first-person shooter. Counter-Strike, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all of those games, the entire lineage of the entire first-person genre as we know it is the genesis of it is Wolfenstein 3D, which led to Doom, which led to Quake. And there's an excellent documentary that came out a couple years ago called FPS that was all about the evolution and creation of the first-person shooter genre. You can find it online. If you're a fan of it, I would encourage you to look that up because it gives you a lot of really good behind-the-scenes stuff into how these games got made, why they got popular, the blowback that came about because they got popular, and the longevity and the legacy of first-person shooters as an integral part of video game history. So, but we've been playing for an hour or so. So again, that's our one-day playthrough for this week. Glad to be back. Again, apologies for all the kerfuffle we had last week with getting content back out. It was a wild week at our day jobs and caused us to have to do a lot of shuffling around of decks on the Titanic while also trying to avoid icebergs, which unfortunately that meant our ability to create content suffered a little bit. But normal service has been restored. We will prove that because we will finally have a WTF Wednesday coming up later on this week. And then we will be getting ready to start recording our next playthrough starting the first week of August. We're going to get some recorded, get them in the can, and then we'll start putting those out in the place of one-day playthroughs and WTF Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. I will give you the only hint I've said is that it is a franchise that is extremely popular overseas and should have been brought to the U.S., but was never officially ported. And that's a key thing, was never officially ported to a U.S. console. It was brought over in a lot of ways, like Doom was, by proxy, kind of through like shareware means, and adapted to U.S. ports, but it was never brought over by the company that created the franchise to the U.S. until, honestly, I think like maybe 5 years ago. But I've been going back and playing one of the titles in this franchise. I've been having an absolute ball with it. So keep an eye and an ear out for that. Also be sure to follow us on social media through Instagram and Threads at Ronan's Retrocade. Help spread the word about us as we continue to build the channel and make it bigger and better. My name is Ronan. It's been great to spend this one-day playthrough with you. Be safe, be well, happy gaming. We'll see you on Wednesday for another episode of WTF Wednesday. Bye.